like I was saying, our king turned water into wine, okay? And he didn't do it through science, okay? The way of science is the way of the rebel. See, those who are in rebellion, they're the ones that need to know everything, because they can't live by faith. They can't pray to God and have Him do things for them because they don't believe in Him. So science is the way of the rebellious, because they need to know everything so they can plot their final war against our king. But like I was saying, Jesus didn't turn water to wine through science, okay? And He didn't walk on water through science. He didn't raise the dead through science. No, folks. He did it by faith. You understand? It wasn't some great power, some kind of wizard stuff. It wasn't sorcery. He did it by faith. And that is the difference between science and our king. And so this is the conclusion. This is part 4 of the true feast days of the Lord. And I will go into more depth and detail when I can arrange to have the my calendars all lined out in the light so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And then I can prove to you that this is musical. I can also teach you a little bit on how come the Feast of Weeks is not named. Okay, you know how Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, they come at certain on the first in the first month, and then you got in the 7th month you got the Feast of Trumpets, the Day of Atonement, the Feast of first and last day of the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay, so we know that the feast days of God come at their appointed times. In the 1st and in the 7th, okay? But then there's also the Feast of Weeks. Notice how it's not named? Because let me tell you what, folks. If we were only ever obedient to God, do you know what the promise was? Don't you know a little something about the plowman being overtaken by the reaper? Do you even understand what that means? That means a year-round growing season. But because the Israelites prostituted themselves out to the Mesopotamian heathen around them, they never ever got to see it, very rarely ever happen. God brings abundance. The reason why the Feast of Weeks is not named is because you could have